Hi guys, Jason from JVA Carpy Adventures and welcome to part 5 to how to build your Barrow. Now on the last vlog you would have seen that the wiring was done and also a control box housing if you like and a control box. So whilst that vlog was being made, I got quite a few messages with regards to the strength of the forks and people being concerned that it could give way, and I'll be honest with you guys, it's a genuine concern. I do agree with it, and that is one of the reasons why I kind of went for a 2mm box section instead of the 1.5mm that cart porter used. Now I will also say on my last single wheeled cart porter I did actually fabricate some supports into that and weld some supports into it, because obviously if you've got all the weight going on one wheel, that's a lot of weight. Obviously with a tri-porter it is spread out a bit, so I do feel I should be okay, but I do feel I should address it and at least test it and show you guys that I've tested it and that it should be okay to support all of my gear. So I'm going to enlist the help of my brother, mainly because he's lighter than me, so initially he's got to get on it, and then providing it holds his weight and don't fall down and collapse, I'm going to get on it. So stay tuned for that guys. Alright guys, so there we go, we've got my brother on there. He's about 14.5 stone and certainly looks okay. Now I'm substantially heavier than my brother, let's say about 19 stone guys, so now we need to see if it's going to hold 19 stone. If it's going to break guys, this is when it's going to break. Please. That's a very nice dude. There we go guys, that's 19 stone, and I'm telling you now, all my cart gear does not weigh 19 stone, so no, I think that's a win. Okay guys, so it's finally come to the time where I could turn these few parts into a working Barrow. So I've got my controller box which has got the battery and the controller in. I've got the wheel which has got a single 12-pin plug that will go into that. That goes out to the throttle, and obviously it's got a voltmeter on it, and that's got one single connector. So I need to run all these wires, and I'm going to just cable tie them to the frame guys. That's certainly suitable for me. So I've got some considerations to do, obviously running where the wires, but I did roughly do all this before I decided to cut the wires to put the plugs on. So I do roughly know what route I'm going to put. So initially I know I'm going to go up the front of the fork, front of the frame, along the outside of the frame, but I'm going to show all that best I can guys. Alright guys, I've just moved over to the grass because the sun seems to be over here, so it'll give you a bit of a better view of what I'm doing. So just to let you know, I am just going to be using cable ties to attach it, nothing special. I'm going to work from the wheel upwards and then backwards, and I'll just show you all that, and I'll probably show you at the end as well guys, so I might speed up some of it. Okay guys, so before I cable tie the throttle cable wire, just thought I'd point out that there's a little grub screw here guys, and you need to tighten that to secure that. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Alright, so now that the thumb throttle is on, I thought I'd cable tie from that downwards then, just so I kind of don't have too much loose wire dangling about, but it's looking alright at the minute guys, so probably a few more cable ties and I'll be done. Alright guys, so now I've got a plug on the underneath of the frame, that's all alright, let's just snip them off. I think that's it. Alright guys, so that is the Barrow cable all run, all looking tidy. I'm going to show you a bit of a close-up of how everything looks guys, just in case you're looking for any ideas or you want to see how well or bad I've done it. Got to show everything, don't you guys? So alright, so first of all from the wheel, just come up, run it across that, run it on the underneath side of that one there guys, so it's just on the underneath. Got a little bit of spare wire there which is good, to the plug. Then the second wire comes up, runs along the inside track up to the plug, which I've decided to have just underneath. Obviously a little bit of slack to allow you to pull it apart, and then that just runs up to the controller. Now I've plugged it all together, I need to know if it works, so let's give it a try, guys. Excited for this. Alright guys, so now we get to a bit of testing. I've put the old Barrow bag back in, put a couple of the panels back on, and let's turn it on for the first time with everything connected. First of all, I'm just going to see that the wheel actually moves, and then if it goes to the different speeds, and then perhaps we'll have to maybe sit on it. I know it holds my weight because I did test it. Sit on it and see if it's good enough to move 19 stone of load on it. So let's get that done. Turn the key. We've got 28.8 volts. Oh yeah, we've got movement. We've got forward movement. That's good. Let's see what we can do on this front wheel. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, so there's a bit of a pull there. Alright, so that's alright. Let's see if we can do something else now. Right, I'm just going to reposition the camera, guys, to hopefully catch me moving on it. It'd be a bit crap if it don't move with me on it. So I'll record from over here, guys. Hopefully it won't come towards it too much, and hopefully it will move. Gingerly sit on it and then hit that throttle. Oh yeah, oh, okay. That definitely goes, guys. Alright, so that definitely goes, guys. It's quite quick actually. Now I am thinking about a brake. Alright guys, let's try that again. Oh yeah, that's super quick, guys. Whoa. Yeah, that definitely goes, guys. I think the next step will have to be really test it fairly loaded. Although to be fair, if it goes like that with me on it when I'm 19 stone, it's going to go pretty quick with all the rest of my luggage on. But we're going to have to give that a try, aren't we, guys, really? Alright guys, so now that the build for the Barrow is kind of complete, there is one other little finishing touch I need to add. And there we have it, guys, the final touch to the Barrow build. Now, if anyone knows me from my channel, you should know that if any companies out there help me, I always go out of my way to help them back. And Alt Technologies has been one of those companies that has helped me from the start, actually, to be honest. And I've actually just recently done a free giveaway supplied by Alt Technologies. So this is just a way of me giving a thank you back to Alex at Alt Technologies that sorted me out with a test battery straight away so I could start getting this build on the go. So firstly, thank you Alt Technologies, thank you Alex. Appreciate all the help and support you've always given my channel, and let's hope moving forward when we're testing all your batteries and all the rest, it goes really well. And talking about Alt Technologies, they are going to be doing a range of Barrow batteries. So awkward to say. They are going to be doing a range of Barrow batteries, and they're going to be doing, I believe, a 10 amp, a 15 amp and an 18 amp, and I will be testing all of them on this Barrow. So it will take a while, guys, because obviously I need to wear them all down and see how much use you get out of them and that sort of things. So it's going to be a follow-up to the Build Your Own Barrow series, but it's not going to be out for quite a while because I need to obviously put a lot of miles on it, to be fair, guys. So please look out for that in the future. And if you do have any battery needs, be it for a bait boat, for a Barrow or anything, please head over to Alt Technologies and give them a look at. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, so the buggy is built, now we need to test it. Obviously I'm not on the bank, so I'm going to be testing it where I live. So I thought the best way to do this is essentially fill it up with the heaviest items I've got. So I've got 2 bed chairs, my bivvy, I might even add another bivvy to it that I know is really heavy. So what I'm going to do is weigh everything up as I put it on the Barrow, guys, and then it will give me a good estimation of roughly the weight that's gone on it. Alright guys, so obviously the first thing I need to put on is the Barrow bag, and I'll tell you what, I've just weighed it, I've zeroed the scales, I've just weighed it and checked it, and I'll tell you what, you guys might not realise how heavy your Barrow bag is. I mean, obviously you lift it in and out and you realise it's heavy, but I mean just how heavy. and it's 27.5 pound. In fact, actually, what I'll probably do is write it all down on my phone before I get going, and I really, guys. Probably also worth me showing you this, guys. There is plenty of room for the cable. Hopefully it will focus alright, guys. So there is plenty of room for the cable there, guys. Right, now I can see where I've taken it through the house, and I've put the sidebars in quite narrow, so I'm going to need to get 2 bed chairs on here. So let me widen them up, guys. Right, so the next item is going to be a tracker level light bed. It has got a sleeping bag already in there, and actually also a sort of one of those air mattresses in that as well, so it's going to be heavier than what the normal level light is. Once I've got that on, I'll also just adjust up the sides, so let's see what that weighs and then get it on. Oh yeah, sorry guys, I should also say I changed to the £120 Rubens just because I know these items are going to be quite heavy, so I'm going to use this instead for those guys. Right guys, I'm going to call that £39. I'm just going to record it on my phone quickly. Alright guys, so now time for the Solar SPC Tech, which I can tell you is quite a bit heavier than the last one. So let's get that weighed up and get it on the barrel. Alright guys, so that one comes in at £51. Obviously at the end I'll probably change it all to kilos, guys, for you, but that's £51. No wonder I struggle when I lift it all the time. So obviously guys, I don't normally have 2 lots of bed chairs on my Barrow, but I'm trying to put the weight in. Alright guys, so turn of the bivvy next, which is the Quest Tackle Defier Mark II. Alright guys, so that comes in at 37, so let's get them marked down. Alright guys, so once I've put this on, that'd be £154 of weight. I think that's definitely got to be good enough. Obviously putting that Solar SPC Tech bed chair on there really does whack it up quite a lot, and definitely more than the rest of my stuff put together, but let's give it a go guys. Alright guys, so there is something I noticed as I'm loading it up, so I should probably let you know, because I think I probably need to put some more air in that tyre. Don't know how clear that's coming out guys, but it is a little bit deflated now. You can see on the tyre it says pump it up to 10 psi, so I did it to 12 psi. I have since seen people say they've pumped it to 15 psi. I'll be honest, after having the tyre blowing me recently, I'm a little bit reluctant, but I do think I need more air in it than what I've got, but I'll probably do it when it's not loaded, if I'm honest guys, just to see how it goes. I don't want to put it under double pressure, so first of all let's turn it all on and see if it actually moves. Alright guys, so just from moving the Barrow back from where it was, I can tell it's probably quite a bit heavier than I normally use it at, to be fair. What I normally do guys, to be honest, on the bank is I normally end up taking 2 loads, because I've got all the camera gear and all the rest of it. I end up like just doing 2 trips. Now obviously if this is powerful enough I wouldn't need to do 2 trips, but it's something I've always done, to be fair. It helps me get my steps in, and also I'm not overloading the Barrow. Now obviously there has been some concerns with regards to if that front forks are strong enough. I believe they are. It's had me on it, which is 19 stone, going around the garden and all the rest of it, but now we need to know, is it powerful enough to move it with 150 odd pounds on it? And obviously that front wheel a lot more lower than what I thought it'd be, so I do need to pump up that front wheel, but first of all I just need to know, is it going to move with everything on it? I should probably also say guys, I haven't recharged the battery in any of this, so it's actually currently at 28.8 volts. Right, so clearly under the weight of everything, the tube doesn't look like it's on the tyre guys, so that's a good start. Let's get that sorted. Alright guys, so as you would have seen, when I had it fully loaded, and then when I went to move, the wheel or the tyre I should say, obviously hadn't seated correctly and just went totally flat instantly without moving. So there you go, my first little stumble. But I did actually see on the tyre when I got it, it does tell you to take it to 24 psi to seat the beads. Now I have pumped it up previously to 12 psi, it says 10 on the side, and I have seen people go to 15 psi, but if you've seen my previous vlogs you'll realise that I've already popped one front wheel. I don't fancy doing another one, especially not to this build. So I tried to be safe, I went to 12 psi. So just now I've used the pump, it's one that's got a good electronic reading on it, so I put it up to 24. It seemed to be holding the pressure, let it down to 12. Guys, I'm going to leave it at 12 for now. I don't want to go to the 15, although it may need it when it's fully loaded, I don't know. So round 2, let's get it fully loaded again, guys. Oh yeah, that's better, guys, sorry. I think I showed you previously where that front tyre was a little bit flat, so I probably should have taken that as a warning really. So now it's holding its own, so I think we're good to go. Let's try it again then. Alright guys, so I'm just going to give it a quick little test outside before I try taking it up the massive hill of where I live. I don't want to go too far up because I've got to obviously steady the weight when I bring it down, and we don't have brakes on these, but I do need to give it a bit of a load test. So I'll give you the exact calculations later, but I know it's over 151 pound of weight on here. So let's see if this time it moves the Barrow. Fingers crossed, guys. Yeah, I've got to be honest, that's pretty rapido, guys. I don't see that having any problem whatsoever. So, obviously I'm not going to be able to carry this camera with me. I don't have a third person. So, I think the best way for me to try and do this is to get the drone up, guys. So, I'm going to get the drone up and see about recording myself moving this, guys. Alright. Alright, guys, so I believe I'm recording audio now. I'm recording video. I am super bloody nervous. I've never used a drone on Follow Me. So, I'm going to be doing it and praying it all goes okay. So this is the very first test of this. I'm just doing it on my estate where I live, and I'm going to use the drone to follow me, I'm hoping anyway. So I know the Barrow, oh, might help if I turn it on. So I know the Barrow should be definitely powerful enough. All I need to know is the drone going to follow me? It looks like it is. So, oh, looks like the drone's having a little problem keeping up. Looks like it is. I want to turn around, guys, because I just want to check that it's going okay. Yep, seems high enough that it should avoid everything here. I'm going to have to move this a bit, and let's get on the throttle. Oh, it's well sketchy for me, guys. I'm not worried about the Barrow. The Barrow is like pulling me, if I'm honest, guys. I'm worried about the drone filming it. I was trying to keep this up as well. Right, it's going okay. The Barrow, guys, I've got to be honest, it's, well, as you can see, it's powering further than what the drone can keep up with at the minute. And I'll be honest, it feels like it's pulling to the right. I'm having to correct it a couple of times, so I might need to do a little adjustment on the wheel there, guys. But I mean, I'll be honest, guys, when you press the power, bloody hell, I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. And obviously I'm being quite gingerly because I'm worried about the drone following me. So let me just, obviously now I am lifting it up, so all the weight is on the front wheel. Definitely seems to be okay. Now we have got a hill now, guys. If you hear me breathing heavy, I do apologise. Right, the Barrow certainly isn't having any problem. I need to just see where the drone is. Barrow definitely feels like it's, Jesus, guys, I'm struggling to keep up with it. Barrow definitely feels like it's pulling to the right, guys, so I'm going to have a look at that. I'll be honest guys, the Barrow isn't having any problem at all. I'm just nervous. Let me just check on the drone again guys. Oh yeah, it definitely looks high enough to avoid everything. Right, I'm just going to have to trust it guys, otherwise I'm not going to give the Barrow a proper test. Definitely pulling to the right guys, so there's obviously some little adjustment I need to do, which is simple enough. There's plenty of room for adjustment on that wheel. Actually guys, I could probably hold the remote with one hand and do the Barrow with the other, so that kind of shows you I'm not doing the Barrow at all myself, but it definitely is pulling to the right guys, so I'm going to need to do something about that. Let's turn it towards there. Obviously when I'm lifting it, you've got all the weight on that front wheel and it's doing okay. So I'll be honest guys, I mean the Barrow, you know, if you can see my hand up here, I'm doing it with one hand at the minute, and in fact I'm not actually doing it. The hub's doing it with ease. Jesus, I thought this hill might cause a bit of a problem. The only thing that is the problem guys, as you can see, it really is going to the right, so I'm going to need to do a little bit of an adjustment on that. First bump coming up. I didn't want to go all the way up the hill guys, if I'm honest. Alright, just checking the drone's still okay. Can still see me. Yep, Barrow says I've got no problem with this hill mate. It says dead easy. Right, I'm just a bit on the sketch with the Barrow guys. So, not on the Barrow, sorry, with the drone. That seems to be doing it all okay, but I don't want to go much further up the hill on the old Barrow, but certainly seems to be working alright guys. I might just go up one little more bit, check that it's recording me okay. The Barrow, I'll be honest guys, you know, if you can see me here, I'm doing it one-handed and I'm only on the lightest setting. Really, I am on the lightest setting and it's like running away from me up this hill. Guys, I've got to say, that's definitely a successful test guys. If you see what this hill is like, you'd know. So I think what I'm going to do guys, just for my own peace of mind, is lock the wheel here, take take the drone safely home, land it, and then take this back without it following me guys, because I am slightly nervous. I've never used that active track before and it's obviously been working very well, but the Barrow, I don't know how. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it a little bit of welly guys. Not sure I'm going to be able to keep up with it if I'm honest, but I'm going to give it a little bit of welly. Let's see what the power is really like. Oh yeah, there you go guys. I mean, I'm having to run with it now. Okay, that's good enough for me guys. So I'm going to stop this here. Okay guys, so there you saw it, the very first drive of the buggy. Now obviously it wasn't perfect guys. The tyre went flat instantly when I fully loaded it because I hadn't seated it correctly, so that needed 24 psi to seat the tyre. Then I could check it wasn't deflating. I could take it down to 12 psi, which is where I've left it guys, to be fair. I've got over 150 odd pounds worth of gear on the Barrow and I noticed it was definitely pulling to the right, so I can obviously do an adjustment on the fork stems where it goes in, and I just need to adjust it up and then keep giving it a few rides to make sure it runs true and straight. But certainly, did it manage the hill? I'll be honest guys, the only thing I was worried about at that time is the drone. Probably not the best time to try out active track for the very first time, but I needed to get a shot of this going up the hill and I figured the drone would be the perfect tool, which it was. Now obviously you would have seen me reposition it a number of times, which is obviously putting all of the weight on the front forks. Like I said, there's over 150 odd pound worth of weight here, and I'm just going to lift it up a few times I have done it previously anyway, but just lift it up a few times to show that the forks definitely are holding out. Don't forget these forks that I've put on are 2mm instead of 1.5mm that Carp Porter used. So essentially they should be 25% stronger as long as I've welded it okay. Does seem to be okay. It's not falling apart yet, thank God. But you never know, guys, you never know. Guys have suggested bracing it, which I do think is a good idea, but I don't think it's needed. So unless I see signs of wear or it cracking or anything like that, then there's no need to upgrade it at this point. But I just want to show you lifting it a few times and let you know what it's like on those front forks. Seems like it handles it really easily, guys. No worries at all. Could get my arm work out on this. Now granted, it doesn't look like your normal Barrow load, but I can tell you that one solar chair with the heavy winter bag and all on is like £51 odd, so it definitely equates to a lot more. Certainly it also feels, something I totally forgot to mention, it also feels a lot more stable, guys, and I think that'd be down to putting that front wheel forward. So again, thanks Alan, you know, on the group, on the Barrow conversion group, put his forks forward. I thought it seemed like a really good idea for the tri-porters, and I'll be honest, it certainly is. I mean, guys, going up that hill, I literally, one hand holding the controller, one hand holding the buggy, and it went. When I went up the second part of the hill, which I didn't really want to go that far up, and then put a bit more throttle behind it, I had to run to keep up with it. So no, that powered hub is working fantastic. Obviously there's a lot more testing to do, a lot more little tweaks here and there to do, so I'll probably do a follow-up video to this, guys. So this isn't the end of build your own Barrow. Also, don't forget, I did say somewhere down the line I am going to be testing all of Alt Technology's new Barrow batteries. God, that's not easy to say. So I'm going to be testing all of their batteries for the Barrows. I believe there's a 10 amp, which is what I've got in here now, which I'll be honest, I kind of thought might struggle with that hill, guys, but it just didn't at all. And when you put the throttle a bit more down, you have to run with it. And I'm not really built for running, guys. So yeah, no, I really am overjoyed, guys. It's probably hard to tell, but because I'm a bit hot. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing, guys. I mean, the power is there. I thought I might have needed a heavier ampage battery, but Alex is just telling me, look, your battery you've got is easily going to power that. All that would happen is you'll get a longer run time with the higher ampage. So Alex knows his stuff, guys. You know, who am I to say? Didn't notice any dip in power or anything at all, guys. If anything, it just had way more left, and I wasn't using it to its full potential, and I probably never will use it to its full potential, to be fair, because I'm not going to run with a Barrow full of stuff. So I'll do a little closure inside, guys, but put all this stuff back in the van and yeah, do a closure for this vlog. Okay, guys, so obviously a few points there. When I got the wheel, I should have overinflated it to 24 psi to make it pop. It didn't pop, but it did seat itself when I went to 24 psi. I had a gauge on it and it was staying at the same, so I let air out of it. I went down to 12 psi. I know some of you guys have gone 15 psi, but obviously on the side of the wall of the tyre it says 10 psi, so I didn't, after having a tyre blow on me, I didn't want to go way past that, guys, so I've stuck it for 12. Certainly seems okay with that amount of weight on it. I'll see how I go. The other thing is, it was pulling slightly to the right when I was going, so I was having to lift it up and readjust, lift it and readjust. One, that's good because I'm testing the strength of those forks, which were fine. But two, I want it to track straight, obviously. So that's simply just a case of getting a spanner, adjusting it on the forks slightly so that it would run straight, which it is doing now, guys. So I am obviously going to be doing further testing on it, but that's going to be on the bank probably over months, guys, to be honest. So I will do a follow-up to this. There also may be some other little modifications and all along the way, and I will show you those. So of those modifications, guys, I did buy an 18 amp breaker, so like a fuse, and I also did buy an on-off power switch. Now the thing I will say is, once I've put it all together and in the controller box and all of that, and then when I plug the battery in, I actually don't hear that crack anymore. So I don't know whether it's just because now all the connections are good or what, you're not getting that same sort of drain, or I don't know. So I'm gonna leave it for now. I've obviously bought those two parts. I've bought the breaker, I've bought the switch, which is like added like about another tenner to the build or whatever. So I am probably gonna use them, but I haven't done it yet. I wanted to test it initially without them to see if it makes a change with them, and by that I mean the drain. If it can manage my heel and everything with the same weight with the switches in and all, then I know it's good. So I'm probably going to be doing a bit more testing, so there probably is really going to be a follow-up video, guys, to this. But for now, I'm not going to give myself the pressure of trying to do it again in the next week. I think for the next vlog, it needs to be over a period of time. So there's a few things I need to cover off on this. I'm going to pop a little slide up now to show you what the costings were. That is absolutely everything. Obviously, it doesn't cover my labour doing it. And obviously, I've done it over a period of weeks, just doing a little bit here and there because I've got other commitments, guys. Honestly, if I had the weekend to do it to myself, and that's with making my own forks and all the rest, I would do it very easily. If you bought one of these kits that are out there, now I know there's a really long wait time for BC UK, so I don't suggest you go there, guys, but there is another company out. Sorry, my brain's not working currently. But there is another company out there and they offer the same sort of thing, and I believe the wait time isn't quite as long. I am going to put links below for the kit that I've got, the upgraded kit that you can get from Aliexpress, and then also the kit you can buy if you want it that much quicker from Amazon, guys. So there will be 3 links below and I'll cover that off. Like I have said, Alex from Alt Technologies helped sponsor this video by, getting me a test battery to use all the way through. Now, the other thing worth noting, guys, I haven't charged that test battery since I've got it. I've just been using it, testing it, and I'm going to continue to do so until I run it down. And then on a later video, I will come back and let you know with that 10 amp battery what sort of usage out of it. I mean, to be fair, I probably should charge it now and then I've got a proper starting block, because the testing, it's hard to account for how much drive time I've used. So, in time wise, in minutes or hours, it'd be hard for me to account for how long I've used on that, guys. So yeah, actually I think I'll take the battery out today. I'll charge it because this weekend I'm back at Mousehole Lakes and I'll be using it for the first time on the bank, and I'm super excited about it. So a couple of things about the testing earlier, guys. Obviously I was using my drone to film it. Apologise, I've not liked using the drone where it flies itself. I prefer to be in control of it. So using active track, which is how I was able for it to follow me earlier when I was doing the Barrow, I was very nervous about it, guys. I did have it at a good height up and I had it zoomed in 2 times, but still very nervous, because what happens is it stays at the same height, which is great when you're on the flat, but I was going up a hill, which means the drone wasn't also going up. So yeah, that was a bit sketchy for me, guys. But I got the shot. I showed you, one hand on the Barrow, one hand holding controller, and it was powering up that hill with absolute ease. No problems whatsoever, guys. So really impressed with that. Also, it obviously highlighted a couple of problems, didn't it? So I had to pop that tyre. I've made an adjustment on the wheel. I think that might be it, but other little issues may arise the more I use it. So I will do a follow-up video and show you all of that, guys. So firstly, thank you for watching the vlogs. I've had quite a lot of real positive feedback from you guys, so thank you very much. Really glad that there's a lot of guys out there that have got a lot out of it, or that might have decided to now go and build their own Barrow, power Barrow I should say, guys, because it isn't difficult, especially with some of the kits out there and some of the options. Like I've shown, there are people out there producing brackets for your forks that you can bolt on to fit the wheel onto. Also for your throttle controller, they do a bracket for that. So I've built it because I have the option to, but I wouldn't expect everyone to do that. And to be honest, buy brackets for the forks and the throttle controller, bolt them on, whack it all together, you'll be up and running within like a day, basically. That's the only thing you really need to do. Run in your wiring, you can cable tie it, you could use Velcro straps. You've got loads of options for there, guys, and it just doesn't take a lot of time. Now, the thing that I'm like, wow, is the hill where I live is actually really quite steep, guys, and I was literally just holding it, thumb throttling it on the low speed, and it was quick. When I went past the bump, I then gave it a bit more, and I kind of needed to run to keep up with it. And that's up a hill with 150 odd pounds on it, so, and a 10 amp battery, so definitely no problems on the power front. Really crazy how powerful it is, guys, really crazy. So once again, thank you for watching the vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't already subscribed, guys, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out immensely and doesn't cost you a thing. If you've enjoyed this vlog, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified of future posts, don't forget I post every single week, guys. I know this Build Your Own Power Barrow has been a secondary vlog out for the week, but normal, one vlog every week, guys. Hit that notification bell. Only leaves me to say, stay safe, stay barrowing.